Hi, my name is Stanton Wortham. I'm the Dean of the Lynch School of Education and Human Development here at Boston College. I wanted to talk to you just for a minute about different kinds of American universities. If you're a graduate student, an aspiring graduate student, or if you're someone who is getting a doctorate and wants to go on and get a job as a faculty member in an American university, it might look to you initially as if these universities are the same. In America, they all hire people as assistant professors, and you go through tenure reviews and associate professors if you get promoted, and then full professors. So it looks from the outside as if a professor job is a professor job. You do the same thing, you have the same title. What's the difference? But it turns out that universities and colleges in the United States are fundamentally very different in the kinds of business model or the sort of social organization that makes them work. I would say there are at least 4 different kinds of social organization of life for professors inside universities. So the first one is an entrepreneurial sort of organization. The elite research universities are very entrepreneurial places. The job of a faculty member is to build his or her own brand, because what you're rewarded for is you're rewarded for getting very well known in your field, making contributions that are recognized within academia and beyond. And what is of value to you, what secures your position, is your own reputation, what it is that you can accomplish by yourself. So a lot of elite research universities are like that, and if you find yourself at one, you will see faculty behaving not for the good of the institution, not necessarily for the good of the students, but in order to build their own reputation, in order to establish a research trajectory where they're people who are looked for. At that kind of an institution, the university wants the smartest, most aggressive professors, because those people are going to go out, work hard, be competitive, beat other people, get well known, and make the university famous. A second kind of organization for research universities in the United States, and for colleges as well sometimes, is like an oligopoly. So an oligopoly is a system where there is a privileged class of people who have disproportionate access to resources. At some universities, there are resources available, whether they come from fundraising from individual donors, they come from the central university budget, and only the privileged faculty members have access to it. They're given research centers, they're given seed funding, they're given postdoctoral fellows, they're given larger salaries, they're given extra sabbaticals. Those sorts of professors are members of the elite, they're part of the oligopoly. Now, this sort of an organization is different than the entrepreneurial organization I mentioned before, because in an entrepreneurial system, you build your brand. What we say is you eat what you kill. You go out hunting, you succeed at something, and you get to enjoy the benefits. In an oligopoly, you enjoy benefits if the people who control the resources give them to you, if you become a member of the privileged class. These systems are sometimes somewhat patronage-based, so people who have a lot of resources become patrons of others. So in an oligopoly, you have an incentive to try to make friends with, to suck up to be nice to, the people who control the resources, whoever those are, and then they'll take care of you. A third kind of organization for a university is a mission-driven organization. Most elite universities do not have missions. Their mission is just to develop and disseminate knowledge, to make more money, to increase the prestige of the institution, but they have no mission beyond that. But there are some universities that have a very clear sense of mission. The easiest example to see are religious institutions. So often Catholic universities see as their mission to advance the greater glory of God, to promote social justice, to enhance human flourishing. And they're willing to spend resources and reward faculty who are committed to that mission, people who are committed to helping young people live lives of meaning and purpose, to help young people become engaged citizens who are ethical decision makers. So a mission-driven institution is going to reward faculty members who are working with others toward the particular mission, whatever that is. This is different than entrepreneurship, where you go out and sell whatever your research program is in the market. It's different than an oligopoly, where there are high-status people who control resources, and you have to become friendly with those people. A mission-driven institution is one where, if you work for the mission, the institution will see you as one of them and will reward you for it. A final kind of organization that I'll mention has to do with community. Many universities and colleges have very strong senses of community where members of a department, members of a university support each other. They work together. They try to collaborate with other people. They feel that they share something. They could share a sense of mission. They could share a sense of trying to work to develop graduate students or undergraduate students. They feel as if they're people who collaborate instead of compete. Notice how different this is than an entrepreneurial system where everybody is competing in order to get the biggest brand, the highest reputation, so they can get more stuff for themselves. In a community-based organization, people are working together in order to advance the whole as opposed to trying to advance themselves as individuals. So the reason for telling you about these 4 different kinds of organization for a university, whether it's entrepreneurial, whether it's an oligopoly or a feudal system, whether it's a mission-driven institution or a community-based one, is if you find yourself as a graduate student or as a faculty member, the rewards and punishments, the way that your behavior will be shaped is going to vary quite differently depending on which of these 4 systems you find yourself in. So as you try to make sense of how your professors are behaving or how you yourself need to behave as a professor, you have to try to figure out what kind of institution am I at? Now these are 4 ideal types. Sometimes an institution is a mixture of 2 of those types, so you often don't get pure types. But nonetheless, institutions that look from the outside as if they're very similar. You can look in the rankings and see these 2 institutions that are right next to each other that look as if they're the same, but they're really not because their cultural, their social organization varies dramatically. Thanks for listening. If you're interested, take a look at the DK Mentoring website where there's a lot more useful information for you. So long.